This is Interstate 26 right behind me. Temperatures haven't fallen that much yet, but right here, it's become a solid block of ice. He was already in the area, so he got to simple storage in no time. Our photographer, Kevin Patton, was standing right here, and literally a few minutes later, after he moved away, we heard the snap, and then this tree came down. As the wind changes, even as the rain is coming down, you're still getting a lot of that smoke. First at 5, a bank robbery that led to trouble for more than just the tellers and the customers inside. Officials say this is one of the visible above ground signs. Carl, you were telling us earlier that you spent so much time planting your crops here. One person is dead after this crash involving a train and a vehicle. What do you have to say to the allegations? Were you friends with him? He told investigators he started firing from his property down towards the church after he noticed flashlights around the church building. Well, you're asking a Floridian, Gordon, so I don't know if I'm exactly the snow expert.
He'd do anything for you.
A mother in tears over the loss of her son, Tyshawn Smith.
I talk to Tyshawn every day. Even on my lunch break, I call him.
Smith was one of 2 people killed in a triple shooting in Spartanburg Monday night.
I thought it was a mistake. I said, this can't be true.
The Spartanburg County coroner says Smith was found shot to death in the driver's seat of a car. The coroner says Raymond Turner was also killed, and another man was taken to the hospital with a gunshot wound. Police say it happened outside Biggerstaff Grocery off Farley Avenue.
We've had a little tussles here and there, but nothing at this magnitude.
Joby Pitts now runs the roughly 67-year-old store and says he feels for the families now hurting.
My heart goes out to them.
The family of Tyshawn Smith stood and prayed
But Father, you know.
in front of a memorial near the parking lot where the 28-year-old was killed.
It was senseless.
Cousin Michelle Berry
He was turning his life around,
says Smith especially cared for his children.
trying to do what he needed to do for his kids.
A family grappling with grief is calling for change.
People don't realize you hurt everybody. You hurt their children, the mothers, the grandmother. You hurt them all. And it's time for this crime to stop.
This is the letter of suspension from the Department of Labor, Licensing and Regulation. Patients reached out to 7 News after arriving for appointments only to find a sign telling them the doctor is not in.
I've been coming here, this is my 10th year.
Wanda Eller is one of several patients who arrived at Wellness Family Medicine in Spartanburg wondering what happened to their doctor.
Well, he's always helped me out. You know, he's a good talker.
The sign out front says walk-ins are being accepted, but a letter on the door reads otherwise.
There is a possibility that the office will be open in the next few weeks.
The letter is from Dr. Gordon Early telling patients the practice has been closed until further notice.
I couldn't believe it.
A letter from the South Carolina Department of Labor, Licensing and Regulation dated February 6th explains what happened. It says Dr. Early's license to practice in the state is hereby temporarily suspended.
Although this process is intended to be confidential, I can say that I'm vigorously contesting the allegations made against me, and I'm strongly disagree with the board's action in suspending my license.
Kim High says she's been a patient for 15 years
He was a phenomenal physician.
and was surprised at how she learned of the closure.
The doors was locked, the blinds were closed, there was 2 signs on the door.
Dr. Early says he'd seen over 800 patients in the past 3 months
I'm saddened by the impact that this has had on my patients.
and was not able to give advanced notice because the suspension was effective immediately and they were awaiting the results of an emergency appeal. He says some patients received an email and others will get a letter with information on how to get their medical records and find another doctor.
It's a headache. It's a headache right now.
Dr. Early says he's now working to get that temporary suspension lifted. No word on just how long that will take. This is a very sweet story, Tom. The family came all the way to Landrum from Clinton, Tennessee, just so this little boy can live out his dreams. That pint-sized ball of energy.
That's his personality.
Who's trying to figure out our microphone
Good was they went in.
is 5-year-old Luke Lau from Clinton, Tennessee, hanging out with the Landrum High School football team. You would have never guessed just how much he's been through.
We found out at 18 weeks gestation that he had 7 different heart defects. One of the major ones being hypoplastic left heart, meaning that he was born without the left side of his heart.
Luke's dad, Jesse, says on top of the heart defects, he has chronic lung disease, uses a feeding tube, and needs 3 to 4 more surgeries before he's 22, each with a 10% survival rate. He says the strides are bittersweet.
Phenomenal, but at the same time, emotional, stressful.
A story head coach Jason Farmer says touched his heart more than 170 miles away in Landrum.
I went to my wife with tears in my eyes and just wanted to know why God had chose me, but I knew I had to do something.
The Cardinals sent Luke a signed helmet, and he later came to a football game as a fellow teammate with a special bond.
It's just a life lesson for my players to understand how lucky they are, how fortunate they are to be able to play this game.
Friday night, Luke was back on the field, knowing the Cardinals have his back.
The way that they've made Luke feel and the things that they've done for Luke and the rest of the family, I don't know, it brings tears to our eyes.
So sweet. Luke was honorary captain at tonight's football game, and the Cardinals ended up winning 20-6. But Pete's going to have more on that coming up in high school.
So glad that Luke came down here, and Luke, you're going to have everyone here cheering for you. That's for sure. Thank you.
You cannot cheer for that adorable face, Tom.
He's great. Thank you.